Hello and welcome to this video. This video is in answer to a question that was asked on my Facebook page from somebody that I used to work with. Hi, a big hi to Chris, I hope you're well. And he said, could I talk on the three circles? Now, what are the three circles? What on earth is he on about? Now, he's heard me before. Now, right behind me, the reason I'm doing this video here is right behind me is one of my bookshelves. The other bookshelves happen to be in the garage, under the bed, and I am an avid reader. And there's a reason that I'm an avid reader. I find books not just entertaining in terms of fiction books and the story that they tell, but I'm a particular avid reader of how-to books, of business books, of success books, of singing books. And the reason is because they shine a mirror and a light up to me. And even if there's something I don't understand, there's some way for me to know that there's knowledge out there that I could be just not using. And it can help me grow as a singer, a musician, a business person, whatever really. So I want to introduce you to somebody that changed my life. Now, this lady doesn't even know me. She doesn't know I exist at all. And her name is Patsy Rodanberg. And she used to be, well, she may still be, I'm not sure. She was the acting coach at one point anyway for the Royal Shakespeare Company and also for the Guildhall, I think. And she's an incredible acting coach. And coming across an interview with her in the paper The Stage, when she was launching a book, really transformed my understanding of something that I knew about but had never articulated before. And her book is called Presence. I'm going to hold it up for you. So if you want to download it, I'm giving Patsy an amazing shout, so probably her sales will spike massively as a result of this. And I would give her all credit. She's an amazing lady, but what she did was, through her work, she understood that as people, we tend to all operate in one of sort of three circles now of energy. And what that really means is the way that we're operating with other people and in the world. Now, she says to get this clear, we operate in all three circles at various points during the day, but there might be something predominantly, one of those that we operate in. So Chris had asked me to actually talk about the three circles. So I'm probably not going to do it wholly justice unless I actually start reading from the book, but I'm going to give a bit of a précis. So the first circle of energy is often termed the energy of introspection or the self, and it's very much into you. It's those kind of people that may be on the stage and they're the obvious nervous ones. They look as if they don't want to be there. They tend to stand back. They tend to feel as if their body posture is closed. Their voices are dropping back into them. And it just looks as if everything it's not, there's no presence out there. There's no energy out there. It's all falling back into them. And Patsy refers that as of the past. And the idea, perhaps, say if you're a performer on stage and, you might be underconfident. Often sometimes underconfident singers will step back and fall back into first circle energy and first circle presence as a way of dealing with that and backing away. But sometimes people can be in first circle energy and they don't even know they are. The type of performer that could be in first circle energy is the type that seems to be sometimes quite into their music. They often, for me, sort of bedroom singers. They could be quite muso, really, to be quite honest. But they're often used to rehearsing. And when they get up to sing with their band, etc., or even on their own, even though they're more into themselves in terms of just lost in themselves and the music and not in a healthy way, it feels as if the audience has got to work very, very hard to actually meet them. They're not meeting the audience at all. They're just into what they do and they're just playing there. It's almost to me like being elevator music. We could actually lose the person, put the music on, and people would still talk over them, go to the bar and not notice they're there. Sometimes if we've been performing for a while just to low crowds and not many people, we can get so jaded that we almost just shut them out and then we go back into ourselves. Well, if you don't like it, I'll enjoy it. And we're not actually really working that audience, even if it's just three people and a dog in front of us. It does take some effort to come out of first circle energy. But when you do, the results are quite amazing and you feel very empowered and it takes your performing onto the next level. Now I'm going to just quickly zip over to the third circle. And what is the third circle? For me as a performer, it's often what I call the kind of desperate singer. The one that's kind of giving it their all on X Factor, the ones that just so desperate, they're out there, they're forcing that sound out, they're just doing everything they can to get noticed. It's what we call the circle of bluff or control. And in it has a generalized energy. It can even look really confident, and it's a very get the party started. It's all give and no take, so it's out there. It's like Mr. Jazz Hands to me. It's just out there in the performing zone. The interesting thing about third circle and what Patsy says is that she says it doesn't work. She says ultimately it doesn't work because there's nothing coming back to it. It's all just out there. We're throwing it out there and we have no real way of knowing what kind of energy and response is coming back to us. We're just making all the effort. Here's where performers really get it wrong and they're not targeted. Potentially they could be creating small videos in their bedroom and they're just sticking it out on social media, just throwing it out everywhere. That's one platform. It might not be a live platform, but they're just throwing that stuff out there. Please like, please share. And actually, it's non-specific. It's generalized energy. It's throwing that stuff out there with no way of knowing whether it's really going where you want it to go. And therefore, for all of that effort, you're not getting much back. The second circle. The second circle, if you have ever noticed a great performer, and it doesn't mean that they're either extrovert or introverted, I've seen both, exhibit incredible presence and incredible audience magnetism. They're really targeted and focused, and that's the difference between presence. And really, it's a shame if we lose that sense of presence. But if you've ever noticed an amazing singer, an amazing speaker, or anybody that's on stage that's moved you, some great examples, you can probably think of them now. Adele, different types of bands even, even sort of big rock bands, etc. Or even really, sort of Norah Jones or jazz. When they're on stage, they're magnetic. It doesn't matter the type of music or the type of person. They have understood second circle. They've understood presence. And the thing about presence is it's a win-win. It's energy out, but it's also energy back in. It's that give and that take. It's the ability to actually present to an audience and to be aware and allow them to actually respond back to you. A great example of this is a few years ago when Beyonce did the Glastonbury stage, and she was standing on stage in front of 175,000 people, massive amount of people, and she went at least a quarter of the way through her set, and it was all really amazing. It was well structured, it was well delivered, and it was giving all of that energy out. And then she stopped, and the whole band stopped. And she just took to the stage, took a microphone, and she just stopped for a second, and it all went quiet. And then she looked at the audience and she went, I just want to just take a moment to just, kind of breathe this in. Just be aware of it. Be aware of you. I've been performing to you, but now I want to be aware of you. And what was really incredible is what happened when she just stood there and she allowed the audience to give back to her, just like great performers really do. Suddenly they cheered, they were all with her, they screamed. Why? Because she had allowed them the opportunity to give back and to influence her. So that's the deal between second circle. We are great, we become great at our stagecraft so that we can influence the audience, so that they can influence us, so that we can get that presence back. Don't lose your presence. Really hone your craft today.